Hello viewers, and good to see you again. Thank you for staying with Football Planet, your show dedicated to football news on Africanews. Coming up, we head for the final round of qualifiers for the Under-20 African Cup of Nations. All the qualified teams for this final stage have been announced. Details will follow momentarily. Interesting times ahead for the African Club Cups. We'll bring you results of Day 2 and Day 3 of the Champions League and CAF Cup right ahead on this program. And later, about 20 days before the start of the World Cup, we continue presentation on the 5 African teams to Russia. Today, the spotlight is on Morocco. Details shortly. Hello again. Let's begin the program with the 2019 Under-20 African Cup of Nations in Niger. We're now a round away from the finals. Remember that the race continues for the 2 finalists of the last edition, Zambia and Senegal, who managed to pass the second qualifiers. Here are the results. The final round of the CAN Under-20 qualifiers will take place July 13 and 20. Take a look at the program lineup. Let me remind you that only the winners of the 7 matches and the host country, Niger, will play this Junior CAN scheduled from February the 24th to March 10, 2019. Let's now turn to the African Club Cups, beginning with the Champions League. Day 2 of the group stage was played last week, and it was a full house for TP Mazembe as defending champions Wydad Casablanca recovered after a draw in their opening match. Here are the results and group rankings. Horoya AC and Mamelodi Sundowns have one more game to play this Tuesday, which has been postponed due to Nelson Mandela's Gala March between South African champs and Barcelona. Catalans won 3-1. Meanwhile, the second day of the CAF Cup was also played. It was a day full of twists and turns, but only RS Bacana managed to maintain the pace with its second consecutive success, as you can see on the table. Also notes that the Champions League and CAF Cup will be on hiatus and will resume after the World Cup. To the World Cup now, where, as you know, Africa will be represented by 5 teams. After Egypt last week, today we'll take you on a journey to discover Morocco. The Atlas Lions of Morocco are poised to pull surprises despite a tough qualification. Elaine Wangawa and Serge Kofi have the story.
It will have taken 20 years for the Moroccan anthem to sound in a World Cup stage. The Atlas Lions are gearing up for the World Cup games in Russia. This return remains a symbol of the rebirth of Moroccan football, which has multiplied disappointments in recent years. The Atlas Lions have had 4 final appearances, having last qualified in 1998. Their best achievement is a run to the last 16 at the 1986 World Cup. The Moroccan team was Group C winners in African qualifying after beating Ivory Coast in a winner-takes-all clash on final match day. The 1976 African champions will launch their Group B campaign in Russia with a clash against Iran in St. Petersburg on June 15. Morocco and Iran have played each other twice in the past, with the Atlas Lions winning both matches, including one on penalties. They will face reigning European champion Portugal on June 20 in Moscow before a final group clash against 2010 World Cup winner Spain in Kaliningrad on June 25. Moving forward, Hervé Renard is very confident about his team, which he says is really solid with a great collectivity. Meanwhile, the country is set to compete many of the plans in its 2026 World Cup bid, even if they do not host the finals. The Moroccan bid is up against a joint one from USA, Mexico and Canada, with FIFA members voting on 13 June.
And Hervé Renard has already settled on his 23-man squad to defend Morocco in Russia. But unlike the other teams, Morocco chooses to have a defender as a star player instead of a midfielder or a striker. Mehdi Benatia is a captain and a trusted Moroccan footballer. The Juventus defender is a star like none other. Again, another report filed by Elaine Wangawa and Sechkofi.
Being a defender and star of a team, this is a particularity of Mehdi Benatia, true leader of the Atlas Lions. At 31 years old, he embodies the fighting soul of Hervé Renard's team. It is not only his experience that has earned Juventus defender his status as boss, but also his talent and rigor. These qualities have enabled Benatia to become one of the continent's best defenders. Benatia netted a vital goal against the Ivorian team in November and has featured more than 50 times for Morocco. Morocco remarkably qualified from Group C without conceding a single goal. The French-Moroccan international player is looking forward to playing Portugal, Spain and Iran in the preliminary round of the 2018 FIFA World Cup. It is Morocco's first World Cup since 1998.
Let's discuss TP Mazembe a lot more. It's a club known for its huge financial strength, allowing them to afford some of the best players on the continent. But this makes it difficult to integrate players from its academy. There are only a handful on the first team, but they remain the future of the club. William Bayiha and Victor Muisio have more.
Congolese giants TP Mazembe are sharpening the skills of their future stars. Young players, the club's youth training center, the Katumbi Football Academy, are gradually entering the first team and getting the chance to shine. This is a strategy being employed by the club's management, who are willing to take up the challenge of patience with these young shoots. They are young people who are growing, so they'll need time, especially when you have players who have been there for 10 years and have proven themselves. I believe that we must give these young talents some time so that they can also integrate, that they can assimilate the good lessons of a big club. One day, they will take their place in glory. The current staff of TP Mazembe already hosts 3 residents at the club's training center. This is particularly the case of Arsene Zola, who has established himself as a key player in the heart of defense, built by coach Pamphile Mihayo Kazembe. These young players coming out of the academy need time to get into the team. First off, learning starts again. That's right. They have to learn everything from technical point of view and everything in high-level football, which are things they did not learn in the academy. There is also psychological work to be done for these young players like Likonza, Arsene and Kino. TP Mazembe kicked off their Champions League campaign in emphatic fashion with a 4-1 thrashing of Algerian side Sétifienne before travelling to Morocco on May the 15th, where they overcame Difa El Jadida 2-0.
William Bahia and Victor Muisio in that report. And you may have noted big moment for Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane. I am talking about the Champions League final between Liverpool and Real Madrid. Arrangements have been made in Kiev for exceptional farewell, both on and off the field next Saturday. nothing has been left to chance, particularly in terms of security. Here's Narcisse Ndubi and Afolake Onyiloye's report.
A few days before the finals of the Champions League between Real Madrid and Liverpool, the Ukrainian authorities are taking measures against hooliganism. At the Kiev Olympic Stadium, the site chosen by UEFA to host the final match of the 2018 edition, police and emergency services are stepping up security exercises to control any slippage by fans. As far as I know, the same measures are taken in Europe. People from all over Europe will arrive, and the event must be held at the highest level. Security is above all, especially as our country is in a state of war. Fans from those countries who will compete are very emotional, as I've heard. And when there are many people, crowd effect may play its role. You know, when people are in euphoria, they may forget about properties and overreact, what may affect their surrounding. The stampede that left 41 people dead and hundreds injured in the 1985 Liverpool vs Juventus final in Brussels is still remembered. For the safety of the 68,000 fans expected at the Kiev Olympic Stadium, on May 26, Ukraine will mobilize nearly 12,000 police officers.
And that's it for Football Planet. You can find this show on our website at africanews.com. Also, your reactions are welcome via the addresses currently displayed on your screen. See you next week and goodbye.